What's going on, everyone? So the San Antonio Spurs take on the Memphis Grizzlies in one of the few home games that they have coming up. Right? This game is very important. This month period could be the make or break month for the San Antonio Spurs. Right now, time recording this video, Spurs are about 2 games ahead of being like in that 8-9 range in the play-in. They're the 5 seed, again, in striking range. They need to make sure that they are staying afloat. We will see what's going on with Wimby and Stephon Castle and stuff. They're coming back, to even come back for this game. Again, at the time of recording this video, we're still waiting. We haven't gotten that news quite yet. So hopefully start getting this team fully healthy, start to put everything together, start to really kind of, carve out and round out this team to the level in which we need them to. And then, really start to hopefully hit our stride going into this month. But starts with the Memphis Grizzlies, right? Now, you have the look ahead stuff like that. Get tough, brutal month. But this is one of the few home games that you have in this next 10-game stretch, literally. Because you play the Grizzlies, and then you have the Magic, the Cavs, the Pelicans, and the Lakers all on the road. Then you play the Wizards again at home, so I'd give you 2 home games. And then you got the Hawks and the Wizards. So literally 6 out of your next 8 games are on the road. Luckily, the last stretch of the season, which is tough, you play the Thunder twice, the Cavs and the Knicks, and then the Jazz. 4 out of those 5 games are at home. So you have a couple home games at the end, but those are tough. Are you going to beat the Thunder twice? Probably not. I think the Spurs can beat anybody. Spurs are good enough to beat anybody, but beat them twice, that's tough. Again, you hit the Cavs a couple times this month. So, again, it's really going to be an important month for the Spurs. Well, how do you start the month off right? How do you start this stretch off right? You get the first win. I've talked about this on the homestand, talked about this on the road trip, right? Getting that first game is so important, right? You really want to set the tone and establish things. Now, obviously, this isn't the first game of a road trip or anything like that, but this is the first game to kind of reestablish, regain your bearings. You just took a loss to Minnesota, tough loss, game that I didn't mind them losing. Talked about it that road trip. Can you go 2-2? If you go 2-2, perfect. To me, I look at that as a successful road trip, given the context. You're out Stephon Castle. You're out, Victor Wembanyama. At the time going into it, you didn't know if you were getting Dylan Harper back or not, or if you were win. Right? So there were factors at play. There was context that was important. You finished it 2-2, and you got a very notable win against the Denver Nuggets, which is good. On the road, all of that. The way in which they lost to Minnesota is what hurts, right? Because that was a game that they were very much in control. And we've seen a couple games now where the Spurs' inexperience starts to show. You saw it against the Lakers. I thought was the first game that you really saw it. It was just like this just felt like a game that you lost just because they just had more experience in this stretch than you did, right? In this moment than you did. Then you saw it, I believe, in the second Warriors game, right? Another game where just Warriors made the right plays, executed down the stretch, and Spurs just kind of let that game slip away, kind of let it fall out of your hands. And then the third one, I feel like really happened in that Minnesota game. Go into the fourth quarter, 4-point lead. It's not that you knew Minnesota wasn't just going to lay down, right? Them going to run, but a 25-7 run to start that fourth quarter. You're not winning very many games, if any, that way. You can't have that. That can't happen, right? So if you're the Spurs, you need to start doing a better job of finding ways to win those games, right? Dylan Harper really, he had a great game in that Minnesota game. Let's see him kind of continue to pull ahead, right? De'Aaron Fox, again, I talked about gotta find that balance. He's done a much better job since I made that video talking about him doing the balance. I think he listens and watches the channel clearly, but Minnesota game, again, 17 assists isn't going to cut it. Right? You look at a lot of their losses. A lot of the losses comes because, they have low assist totals and usually high turnovers. They didn't have a ton of turnovers in the Minnesota game, which was good, but we've seen that kind of be a trend. Minnesota had 35 assists, right? Like usually the team, more often than that, when you look up, team that has the fewer turnovers and the more assists usually win those games, right? Like, so again, share the basketball, move the basketball. Guys didn't really shoot well. That obviously played a role into the assist totals and stuff, but need guys to continue to play well, right? Stephon Castle, Victor Wembanyama, them being out obviously hurts, but look, De'Aaron Fox was brought here to be your all-star point guard. That's why he was brought here, right? This wasn't just some like project guy or anything like that. No, this was a guy that was well-established, years in, all-star. Hey, he's going to come in, he's going to right the ship, he's going to be the leader, he's going to kind of better balance this team out. And, I do think he's done a good job, right, thus far, but I don't like, he's had moments where you're like, boom, there it is. But I also feel like he's been a little underwhelming in spots. Again, he's doing a good job of keeping us afloat, staying, not having a sink, which is good. Devin Vassell, I think I feel like has played much better recently. The numbers and everything like that back it up. The Timberwolves game, I didn't think he was bad or anything like that, but he didn't shoot the ball particularly well, right? He's got to find his shooting touch. He's got to find his rhythm better. But in general, right? Like this team got to go home, right? Play Minnesota or Memphis. Those M's. Play Memphis. Look, Memphis is a team that they don't want to lose, right? Memphis is a team that's right on your tail, right? Like they're a team that's trying to get back into things, right? Right now you have a 5.5 game lead, but you lose, that's a full game on you, right? Like I said, Memphis is on a 2-game win streak. You let them go on a thing. Like you start, again, going on significant loss. You got these tough stretches. You lose 4 out of 5 or something like that. Again, the Western Conference moves quick, right? Like 1 minute you're the 5 seed. Next minute you look up, you're the 8th seed, right? Like I don't want to see that happen. You don't want this team to start falling out of favor, right? And you got to win the games that you're supposed to win. And I think Memphis is a game that you're supposed to win. And then go into that road trip, beat the Pelicans, who I believe you're supposed to win, and then try to win one of those other 3 games that, again, I think the Spurs can beat anybody, but there's games where you're like, come on, like Spurs need to win this. And then there's games where like, hey, this is going to be tough, but they can pull it out, right? So great job. Starts with this game. Go in, handle business at home against Memphis, rattle off this win, and then gear up for that next road trip. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I pass a question to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out. If you enjoy these types of videos, truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.